Ifeyinwa looked at her sister, tears streaming down her eyes. She ran back to her room and broke down in tears, crying and weeping profusely. So the days that followed was hell for Ifeyinwa. Her younger sister Oluchi had grown even bolder. She would sit in the parlor and cross her legs on the table, and then call out to her sister saying, Ifeyinwa, Ify, where is that girl now? Biko, get me a cold glass of juice. Biko, my baby wants to drink juice. Oluchi would say, while rubbing her belly gently. Ifeyinwa would look at her sister dumbfounded. And when she opens her mouth to try and rebuke her sister, her husband, Obinna, will chip in very quickly and say, why are you standing like a statue? Your sister is asking you for a glass of juice and you're there standing. Is she not the one helping you to carry your child? So what is so difficult in helping her get a cold glass of juice? Obinna would shout angrily, and Ifeyinwa would have no choice than to do as her sister had commanded. Ifeyinwa was frustrated, and things did not even get any better between her and her husband and sister. Her sister continued to maltreat her as though she was a maid. Sometimes her sister would wake her up at odd hours because she was having a weird craving, and Ifeyinwa would have no choice than to go cook what her sister had asked her to cook. Ifeyinwa was tired of this kind of life. Meanwhile, Oluchi, on the other hand, was having the time of her life. Oluchi thought aloud to herself and said, see me, that was busy praying for God to give me a husband like my sister's husband. I did not know that God had something better in store for me. He did not just give me a look-alike, a photocopy. He gave me the main person. Me too now, I deserve to be loved and cared for, the way my sister's husband cares for her. I'm tired of falling victims to the sons of Pharaoh. If it is not Femi that is breaking my heart today, it is Emeka. Now that I have caught Obinna, I am never letting him go out of my grip, Oluchi said to herself aloud. So things continued like this between Oluchi and her sister Ifeyinwa. One day, Ifeyinwa was very confused and sad. She needed to talk to someone before she would lose her mind. She needed to talk to someone about what was going on in her home. So she decided to call her mom. So Ifeyinwa called her mother and narrated every single thing that had transpired between her sister, and her husband. And her mother, who is fondly called Madam Cash, immediately screamed at the top of her voice and said, Abba, Ifeyinwa, why are you so naive? Why will you agree to such a thing? And why didn't you tell me? Hey, Ifeyinwa, I cannot believe this. Don't you know that it would have been way better for your husband to have gone outside to get another woman pregnant than to get your own sister pregnant? You both are my children, but you are not anything alike. Your sister is a very greedy person, and she's not contented at all. She has always been like that since she was little. She has always wanted things that belong to you. And now you have willingly handed over your husband and your home to her. Ifeyinwa. Madam Cash replied, wailing in sorrow. Mom, please, what do I do? Please help me. I don't want to lose my home or my marriage, please. Ifeyinwa replied, crying. Okay, calm down first. Calm down. This is what we are going to do. First off, please stop crying or throwing a pity party in the presence of your husband or your sister. Do not give them that satisfaction that their actions are getting to you. So you have to be happy at all times. Anytime your sister tells you to do something for her, make sure you do much more. Even go ahead and cook delicacies for her without her even asking. As a matter of fact, go out of your way to be very nice to her. Then the next thing that you would need to do is try and win your husband back to you. Begin to do the things that he likes. I know it's going to be very difficult, but please do it if you want to restore your home. I wish I could come. I wish I could come down there, but I cannot because your father is very sick and I have to tend to him. Madam Cash replied sadly, "It's okay, Mama. I understand. Thank you so much for all your words of advice. I will do as you have said." Ifeyinwa replied with a bit of hope. So in the days that followed, Ifeyinwa began to implement all that her mother had told her to do. She would walk up to Oluchi when she was sitting with her husband and resting her head on his body and say, "Ah, Lulu baby, is there something that I can do for you? Do you want to eat something? Please let me know so that I can prepare it. I can imagine that it's not easy to carry a baby." If anyone would say, smiling. Oluchi and Obinna were very shocked. They wondered what had influenced the change in attitude in Ifeyinwa. So from that day onwards, Ifeyinwa was very nice to her sister Oluchi, serving her and taking very good care of her. And this made Oluchi very upset. One day, when Ifeyinwa was lying down on her matrimonial bed, Obinna walked into the room. It was the first time in over 6 months that Obinna was entering their room since he moved his things to Oluchi's room. What are you doing here, Obim?" Ifeyinwa asked, looking pleasantly surprised. Abba, what kind of question is that now? Don't I have the right to come and visit my wife, the love of my life? Obim, Obi dear. Obinna asked, smiling sheepishly. Okay, if you say so. Ifeyinwa replied, looking surprised. And then Obinna joined her on the bed and said, "My love, I have missed you. I am so sorry that things have been strained between us lately. And I acknowledge that some of it is my fault. But with how nice you have been to me and Oluchi recently, despite all that we have done to you, I just realized that I have been very unfair to you. Please, can you find a place in your heart to truly forgive me? I know we may never have what we used to have, but at least we can try from somewhere." Obinna said very calmly. Ifeyinwa was so happy she could not believe her eyes. And for the first time in months, she and her husband came together as husband and wife. Ifeyinwa was so happy and they both went to sleep. The following morning, Obinna and Ifeyinwa were woken to the loud screams of Oluchi. Oluchi was screaming at the top of her lungs, "Obinna, what are you doing here? Oh, so you left the woman that is pregnant for you and carrying your child to come here and spend the night with this barren woman. I hate you. I hate you. I regret getting pregnant for you. I will kill myself and kill your child too." Oluchi screamed, crying. Immediately, Obinna ran to Oluchi's side, looking very scared, and said, "Please calm down. Please calm down. Do not get upset. You know that you're pregnant. I'm so sorry for leaving you all by yourself last night. But first off, please, you need to stop crying. Please, for the sake of our baby, please stop crying." Obinna replied, looking very worried and trying to soothe Oluchi. And immediately, Oluchi started screaming. Her water had broken. She was in labor. "Ah, it's happening now. Our baby is coming." Oluchi screamed out in fear, sweat breaking out on her face. And Obinna, who was filled with fear and excitement at the same time, quickly rushed Oluchi to the hospital. Obinna was very afraid. He paced up and down the hospital. He was waiting for Oluchi to give birth. A few minutes later, the doctor walked up to Obinna, smiling and said, "Congratulations, sir. Your wife just gave birth to twin bouncing baby boys." The doctor said excitedly, "Yes, yes, I am finally a father. Of not just one son, but 2 sons. I am a man. I am a man. Abum Dingba, Abum Odogu. Now let me see the silly person that will dare me or challenge me again at a village meeting just because I do not have a son. Obinna, Obinna, Ibudimba." Obinna screamed in excitement. A few days later, Oluchi had returned to their home and she was so happy because she was now Mama Ejima, as she had birthed two handsome boys for Obinna. Now she had Obinna wrapped around her arms. Obinna was always around her, and the boys smiling and doting on her. He no longer even remembered Ifeyiwa or even talked to Ifeyiwa at all. Ifeyiwa was shattered. She locked herself up, weeping and crying profusely. Oluchi had stolen her life. Oluchi had stolen her husband. She was the one that was supposed to carry her husband's children. And here was Oluchi, carrying her husband's children and living her own life. She had hoped that things would get better between her and her husband, judging from how he had come to reconcile with her just a few nights ago. But with the birth of Oluchi's twin sons, Obinna had forgotten everything about her. He behaved like she did not exist. So Oluchi continued to enjoy the love and affection of Obinna. Obinna had even bought her a brand new car as a way of showing his appreciation for making him a father of not just one son, but two sons. However, 2 months later, Ifeyinwa fell sick. She began vomiting. Obinna stared at Ifeyinwa one day when she was throwing up and said, "Ife, Ogini, are you okay? You look pale. Oya, Oya, come, I'm taking you to see a doctor right now." Obinna said, looking very worried. "My love, there is no need to worry you. I'm sure she's just faking all this sickness, just so she could get some of your attention. Don't waste your time on this one, my love. Instead, spend that time, invest that time with your handsome sons." Oluchi replied sneeringly. But Obinna did not pay any attention to Oluchi. Instead, he took his wife Ifeyinwa to the doctor. And after spending several hours at the hospital, seeing the doctor and running some tests, the doctor walked up to Ifeyinwa and Obinna, smiling excitedly, and then said, "Congratulations, sir. Your wife is pregnant." The doctor replied, smiling, "It's a lie. It's a lie. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Jesus." "What? Me? Pregnant? Pregnant? As in, after almost 10 years? Oh my God." Ifeyinwa busted out crying. "Hey, hey, is this how you walk, eh? My God, you just made me a father through Oluchi 2 months ago. And now you have also made my wife pregnant, eh? Chukwu Okike, thank you, sir. Oh, my beautiful wife. Oh, Adoram, Normam, Asam. Oh, Obiangerimo, the love of my life. Thank you. Thank you. God has heard our prayers after 10 years. Obinna said, crying and weeping, as he hugged Ifeyinwa tightly. When they got back home and Obinna broke the news to Oluchi that Ifeyinwa was pregnant, Oluchi hissed and walked away angrily. And in the days that followed, Obinna no longer spent all his time with Oluchi and his sons again. No. He now began to spend quality time with his wife Ifeyinwa, showering her with love and affection. Ifeyinwa was so happy. But Oluchi, on the other hand, was not so happy. And so, they continued living together in peace. Obinna shared his time between Oluchi and his sons and his pregnant wife Ifeyinwa. Few months later, Ifeyinwa was already very heavy and was due to give birth anytime soon. One night, as Ifeyinwa and Obinna slept, she began to feel labor pains, so Obinna had to rush her to the hospital very quickly. And after a few hours, Ifeyinwa gave birth to two bouncing baby boys. And when the doctor informed Obinna that his wife had given birth to two bouncing baby boys, he was so excited. "So I am now a father of 4 boys, eh? Jesus. Is it me that you are blessing like this, that you're embarrassing with many, many blessings?" Obinna said, with tears streaming down his eyes. A few days later, Ifeyinwa returned home with her sons. She could not believe that she was a mother after 10 good years. Sometimes she would be lost in admiration of her sons. She was no longer even upset with her sister Oluchi. As a matter of fact, she thanked God for all that Oluchi had done to her. She felt that Oluchi was the one that opened the door for her to be able to finally conceive and bear her own children. Meanwhile, Oluchi was very jealous of her sister Ifeyinwa because she could no longer taunt her for her barrenness, and also because Obinna now treated them equally and sometimes even treated Ifeyinwa with more care and respect. However, one day, when Oluchi's twin sons, who at this time were already 9 months, fell sick, and Obinna and Oluchi took them to the hospital. But despite all the treatments that they were receiving, they seemed not to be responding to these treatments. So the doctors had to conduct several more tests. And when the result was out, he called Obinna and Oluchi into his office and said, "I'm sorry, sir. I am sorry, ma. But your sons are both C class. They are SS. They have the SS genotype. And they just had their first crisis." The doctor said, looking sad, "What? Sickle cell? C class? No way now. Even if Oluchi is SS, which I know she's not, if not, that would have come up during the antenatal. Me, I cannot have a child that is a sickler because I have the AA genotype. So there must be a mistake somewhere. Please check again." Obinna responded, looking frustrated. "I'm sorry, sir, but there is no mistake because I double-checked. I am so sorry once again, but your boys are C class, and this is the first of many crises that they may face in the future. So you have to brace up," the doctor replied. Obinna still looked very confused. But however, a few days later, the boys got better and were discharged, and they all went back home. Obinna was confused. He had given it a very deep thought. And then he realized that if Oluchi's twin boys were SS, C class, that means they possibly couldn't be his. Obinna was very heartbroken. He was scared that Ifeyinwa's sons may also not be his. So he decided not to make a fuss about it. So one day, he chopped off some hair off Ifeyinwa's twin sons and also chopped off some hair off Oluchi's sons. He wanted to do a secret DNA test. So he went to the hospital to submit the sample hairs and then submitted himself for a DNA test. 1 week later, the results were out. Ifeyinwa's twin boys were his, but Oluchi's twin sons were not his, just as he had suspected. Obinna broke down in tears. He remembered the pain that he had put his wife Ifeyinwa through and how he had treated her badly. He was so ashamed of himself. So one day, he called Oluchi and Ifeyinwa together in the parlor and said, "Oluchi, Oluchi, how could you do this to me, to us? So you forced another man's sons on me just because I was desperate for a child. Ah, you're wicked though. You caused havoc in my home, all for what? For another man's children. Your sons are C class, so there is no way my child will have the SS genotype, even if you are SS. And I know that you're not SS because my own genotype is AA. So I'm going to ask you this question just once, and you had better start talking and tell me the truth. Don't you even dare lie to me. If not, I would strangle you here. Who is the father of your sons? Who is the father of those bastards in my house?" Obinna said, already vibrating. Hey, Jesus. I'm finished. Okay, see here, I will confess. Just calm down. I'm sorry. After the first month when I slept with you and I did not get pregnant, I was desperate to get pregnant for you so I can enjoy all the comforts that my sister enjoys. So I invited my ex-boyfriend Emeka to Lagos because I know he's a sharpshooter. I lodged him in a hotel and I went to meet with him every day until I took in. I'm sorry, Obinna. Sister, please. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Oluchi said, crying. Ah, Oluchi, you have killed me. So all this while, you knew that you were not carrying my husband's children. Yes, you maltreated me and treated me like a common maid in my own house. Oluchi, you are wicked though. Ifeyinwa said, crying. And immediately, Obinna threw Oluchi and her sons out of his house, saying, I never want to see you in my home again. Take yourself and your sons and get out of my house, Obinna said, while weeping profusely. And then Obinna turned to his wife and knelt down, crying and begging her to please forgive him for how he treated her in the past. Ifeyinwa gladly forgave her husband, and once again, peace, love, and unity returned in their home. Ifeyinwa was very happy. She had her husband back and her home was once again restored, and she also had her own biological children. Ifeyinwa and Obinna became a big happy family with their twin sons. Meanwhile, Oluchi had returned to her parents' house in shame, as Emeka had rejected her and her twin boys, saying that he was not the father, he was not responsible for them. Oluchi was very ashamed of herself. Her parents, especially her mother, Madam Cash, made her life very miserable. Madam Cash would always look at her and taunt her, saying, Husband snatcher, see you, you're not ashamed of yourself. Oh, you try to see your sister's husband. Sophia Aqua. Biko, do not try and steal my own husband though, Madam Cash would say, taunting Oluchi. Oluchi would always cry and weep. Her life was miserable. She was always in and out of the hospital, as her sons were always falling sick, as they were always having a crisis. Oluchi regretted her actions and wished she hadn't taken advantage of her sister's marital problems. Now she was paying dearly for it. Hi besties, it's your favorite storyteller, Omalicha. Thank you so much for watching my story to the end. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. What do you think? Do you love the way it ended for Ifeyinwa? How God blessed her with her own two sons? And what do you think about Oluchi? Do you think that she deserves to have children that are sick? That she deserves to suffer in that way, and be thrown out like that? What do you think? And also, what do you think about Obinna? Do you think that if Ifeyinwa did not have any child for him, do you think that he would have really thrown out Oluchi and her twin sons, even though he knew they were not his? Please share your thoughts with me in the comment section. And please support your homegirl, Omalicha, by subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, and sharing with your loved ones. So now, till I come your way again with more interesting stories, bye.